Welcome to chess, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing out there today? Appreciate you guys stopping by very much. I have the rounds 5, game 3 between Nepomniachtchi and Wesley. It's a really good one. It's a really instructive game, I think. Show some do's and don'ts. But for all of my people in the Philippines, magandang umaga. Kamusta na? Mabuhay ingat lagi to you. Masaya kong makinig muli. Appreciate it very much for stopping by, taking a look at my video. For anybody that's coming from Russia who does speak Russian, привет to you. Spasibo for coming by and taking a look at my video. And if you guys are ready to go, like I'm ready to go, let's take a look, see what we have for this game. Alright, so we got D4, knight comes to F6. Got C4, E6, knight to C3, D5. So as you guys know, we can go to so many different possibilities in this position, but we do see pawn takes D5. And so this is the Queen's Gambit decline exchange variation. We got knight takes D5, pawn to E4. Now, of course, we always have, possibility of taking with a pawn and just making it be a true exchange. But we do see, like I said, we do see knight takes D5. We got E4, knight takes C3, pawn takes C3, and we have C5. And before you get scared, because, this is similar to what we saw before as far as the drawing lines and stuff like that are concerned, this is absolutely not a draw. Just so we make sure we're good. We got rook over to B1, putting it on an open file there. We got bishop to E7, got knight to F3. We got castles by black. We have H4 by white. And this is actually where it starts to get kind of crazy. As you will see, this position will get crazier and crazier and crazier. So let's roll. So we got B6, we got H5, just pushing a pawn for the second time. We got H6, stopping any further expansion on the king side. We got bishop to D3, pawn takes D4, pawn takes D4. We have knight to C6, and knight to C6 is the novelty of the game. It's interesting, like I always say, because it just seems like the most natural developing move in the position, which it is. But it is the novelty of the game. So we got bishop down to E2. We have bishop to B7. And then we have rook to H3. Like I told you a second ago, it gets crazier. So something that I want to say about this position. Now, of course, I'm me. So I can't really, criticize Nepomniachtchi because he's literally going to play for the world championships too much. But in this particular situation, I feel like Nepo, he really understands this position and he kind of has everything figured out, but this is a completely wrong way to play. If you guys look at the situation, like I'm looking at the situation, we have moved our rook on the queen side. We have moved our rook on the king side. We've pushed a wing pawn 2 squares. Our king is stuck in the center of the board. We have touched our bishop twice, have not touched our bishop once, have not touched our queen. And so it's like, where does the king go? Like, there's like literally no safety. The crazy thing about it is this position is actually pretty even. It's maybe slightly better for black, but it's not like all of this is adding up to black, just getting demolished, or white just getting demolished, right? So that's why I say it's kind of a double-edged thing. This literally, when you're looking at this is 100% not the right way to play. Like I said, I can't really criticize Nepomniachtchi because I'm not on his level, but I can just say fundamentally from a chess perspective, from the basics, this is not how you want to play the game. So don't take this game and duplicate this unless you're, literally one of these guys. But even then, be wary. But like I said, Nepomniachtchi, he must have figured it out. Has it going on? We got rook to C8. We got rook over to G3. So as you can see, white is actually putting a pretty legitimate attack to black because they do not have a knight on F6. They do kind of have some vulnerabilities over here. Of course, automatically now you're threatening bishop takes H6, threatening to go ahead and take here with check. So we got king moving over to H8. And then we have A3. Now, A3 is actually the first inaccuracy by Nepomniachtchi. Everything that he was doing up until this point, even as crazy as it looks, as fundamentally breaking as it was actually sound. So this is actually the first point of the game where he does waste the tempo. And this is a really crucial tempo. And it just allows black to start attacking and basically making it really, really hard for white to defend. So we see knight to a5, and this is just a beautiful move because it does open up this bishop on this diagonal and just directly attacks a pawn. So now white is in a position to where they are having to try to defend their position instead of doing what they really, really need to do, and that is get their king into some type of a safety. Instead of a3, king to f1 is like by far preferred. It just sidesteps, the king, kind of like makes it where it's kind of like, kind of doing like a little artificial castle type of situation. Just desperately trying to get the king into some kind of safety. So like I said, a3 just kind of opened up the attack on the e4 pawn. Bishop comes to d3. So now this is the third time we've moved that bishop. We got knight down to c4. We have king over to f1. We do get king to f1 in, but unfortunately it comes a day late and a dollar short. Knight comes to d6. And so as you can see, black is basically taking white's position, and because of the breaking of the fundamentals and the lack of king safety and everything, black is starting to make life really, really hard for white right now. So we see d5, which is also not really what you want to do because you are opening the position as white. And because of your king's position and the fact that you're, not fully developed, that's not really what you want to do. So take an example from the game. So really, it's more of just kind of like the chess position and not Jan Nepomniachtchi himself, but just take an example from this game and see that touching pieces multiple times out of the opening, not getting your king into safety, opening up the position when you don't have your king in safety are all death wishes. So do not play chess this way. We got pawn taking d5, and then we see bishop coming to b2, and so we see actually white getting a little like counter attack going. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? We have kind of some things brewing for white though in the situation. And what I want you guys to do right now is to pause the video and see what move black should play here. In lieu of everything that's kind of, going on. Go ahead and do so real quick. Am I blurry? Did I get blurry? It hasn't happened in a minute. What's going on? Let's get unblurry. Come on, bro. Thank you. Lord, how long was I blurry for? Okay, sorry about that, guys. But that, guys, gave you the chance you needed to take a look at the thing. All right, so something that you kind of probably notice in the position is the fact that, even though white kind of seem like they're not really, adhering to the principles, they seem like they got like really crazy attack going. You got the rook hitting this square. You kind of have these pawns frozen a little bit because, just the way that you have the structure set up. The bishop is kind of slicing in without that type of arrow. The bishop is slicing in. This bishop is slicing in. So it kind of looks dangerous for black, right? Wrong. Black is completely winning here. Like they're literally like, the game is like almost pretty much won positionally. So if you guessed rook to g8 to protect, to defend the position, it's actually basically giving the position dead equal. When, like I said, black is like completely winning the game right now. Defending the position is going to lead to the queen coming to d2. Throwing a counterattack on this pawn because, of course, the other pawn is pinned. f6, rook to g6, rook to f8, pawn takes d5. We got rook to f7, and we have queen to e2. And as you can see, white is actually doing pretty good. They're not too bad about the king safety and stuff like that. They're actually just doing well here. So if we go back to this position we had after bishop to b2, this requires, and this is why I'm going to give Wesley so like a crazy amount of credit for this one, because it basically forces you to calculate a lot and to basically be fearless in the face of, all of this attacking. And so I think that that's something that is probably one of the hardest things to do in chess, is to think clearly and to counterattack when you're being attacked yourself. Because usually when you're being attacked, you're really just kind of focused on the attack, and it could get kind of crazy. But what Wesley So actually does here, and this is by far the strongest way to play, is actually pawn takes e4. Now, pawn takes e4, it does fork these two pieces. But it kind of seems like to some people that it just gives white like this crazy attack. Like the bishop's going to be taken here, the king's going to have to move down. But if you can see past the initial, craziness that's going on, this is a very beautiful combination that comes up. So we have bishop takes g7 with check, forcing the king down to h7. We have bishop takes f8, bishop takes f8. We have rook to g4, pawn takes d3, rook to d4, and then we have rook to c3. And as you guys can see now, white is down an entire piece and a pawn. So, like I said, it's crazy. Like when you feel like you're getting attacked, to think clearly and to try to think like, man, what else can I do? But a lot of the times when you're getting attacked, counterattacking is one of the best things that you can do. So if you can like calm yourself down and get past, all of the attacking that's occurring to you, you can have some pretty good games. So just moving forward, we got queen coming to d2. We got queen coming to c7. Queen comes to f4. We got bishop takes f3. Pawn takes f3. Mentioning black is up material. So trading down is gonna almost always benefit them. So like I said, you want to be trading down usually in situations where you're up material. So that black is doing the right thing. Rook comes to c4, wanting to trade again. We got rook to d1, rook takes d4, queen takes d4. So as you can see, black has been able to simplify the position down to where now, they're just up, an entire pawn and a piece. So we got queen to c4, trying to get another trade going. And that's literally what you should be looking for, is beneficial trades when you're up material. So the queen comes down to e3. We have knight to b5. Rook takes d3. Bishop takes a3. We have king to g2. Bishop to c5. Getting a nice little tempo on the queen. Queen comes down to d2. Knight comes down to d4. We have rook to e3. We got a5. Rook to e3. We have f6. Rook comes down to e4. We have f5. Rook comes to e8. We got queen to f7. We got queen to e1. Queen to g7 with check. King comes to h1. And we see knight taking f3. We see queen to d1. And then we see queen to f7. And it is in this position that Jan Nepomniachtchi does resign. And this allows Wesley So to make it to the finals of the tournament. And I mean, of course, you can always take this knight here. You'll be dropping your rook. You can get another pawn back with check. But this is not an endgame you want to play. So this is probably an option. But I mean, as you guys can see here, there's not really anything else to really do. I mean, it's just lost. It's just horribly lost after that. And we are threatening this pawn here. So, I mean, how do you defend that pawn? It's rough. But I think that was a really, really nice game by Wesley So. Just, basically looking at all of the different things that Jan Nepomniachtchi was doing and trying to take full advantage of the position. That's always something you want to be doing as a chess player. And these guys at this level are just as good, if not better, than anybody in the world at doing that. So, yeah, that was a nice game. And like I said, Wesley So did make it into the final. So I'm not for sure who he's going to be playing, but I will post the results in a post like I've been doing. I think that's pretty good. As I'm doing tournaments, I'll post results, and then that way that gives people another chance to kind of interact and get some more information about what's going on. So for all of my people in the Philippines, I've been continuously working to try to get this in order, and I'm just kind of going over. It's going to take me some more time, but I have Maayon Buntog. I have Mayad na Agahan, Ninebag na Bigat, Masantos Yakabusan, Marhe na Aga, Buenos Dias, Maayong Aga. I have Mapia na Uma, and I'm trying to think, Kapian Kapa New Deals. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and probably tomorrow add another one, and I will get all of the 1920. Ultimately, when it's all said and done, I want to be able to speak to every single different person and say good morning and stuff like that in the Philippines, all the different dialects. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me, and you guys are actually seeing the progression of me being able to try to like start and learn all these different things. Of course, for all of my people that speak Tagalog, Mabuting Pagbati, and Maraming Salamat po sa nanonood. Spasibo for my people that speak Russian, and I will see you guys next time.